We're in the house. How you doing, sir? Shows 6 people, 2 thumbs up. So when I jumped on, I guess a minute or so early, but we'll let everybody catch up and jump in here and we will get into it. Hopefully people are getting the notifications. I've been having people tell me they're not seeing them or not getting them. So if you're on here and you did get a notification, let me know. What's up, Ranger 10? He was my savior, what was it, Friday night, Ranger? Or Saturday night? I can't remember. Did that whiskey chat and definitely had a bunch of trolls in there. You were doing a great job, so I appreciate you, sir. We will let people, and I've already had people asking me opinions about you know which gun. Hello, Scott, how are you? Checkmate's in the house. How are y'all doing? Hope everyone is good. Chris from the 740. He got no notification, just had to go to your channel. Yep, that's what I'm hearing. So I'm hearing a lot of people say there's no notifications, and they're like, you didn't put anything out. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. And I'm like, yeah, I did. Then they check and hell, Armsman's been unsubscribed to me like 8 times. He's even sent me pictures like, man, look, they keep unsubscribing me from you. So anyway, it is what it is. Cheers, everyone. Got the new Father's Day glasses. Lead crystal. We're going to bust these out. Little Buffalo Trace. That was good. Hello, Rich B. How are you? His notification worked just fine. That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's hit and miss. What is it with your chats and the trolls? I have no idea. And I'm even listed as like no kids, you know, like whatever, over 18 or whatever. I actually have my whole thing is checked where it's no kids allowed, supposedly. Scott said I got the half-hour notifications, but the actual live notification. Hello, Trigger Bar. How are you? Yeah, we need to get Trigger Bar here on my chat too. Actually, I think we were already talked about it, and I forgot till just now. So we need to get him on here. I got a busy day tomorrow, so gonna be working with 2 manufacturers. 2 different manufacturers, car manufacturers, or I should say truck manufacturers. So I think it's gonna be pretty funny. At the same time, rivals, as you say. But yeah, I've had a lot of people. We might as well get it out of the way. I've had a lot of people ask me about what I think about the SIG, the new SIG P11. That is SIG's, or you know, that's their 3 or whatever P11, P211. I'm sorry. Hello, Lynn Holt. Asking me about like, do I like it? What do I think about it? You know, and then they're asking me, should they buy one? Blah blah blah. I don't know the price on it yet. I haven't seen MSRP. Somebody said 2,500. Some person said 3,000. So I really don't know what the price is going to be. Do you think GM is going to sue them over the GTO branding? No, they're not. No. Yeah, mid upper 90s all the way up here in Wisconsin. Yeah. But you know, they're asking me, oh, should I, you know, what do you think about the SIG P211, you know, blah, blah, blah. And of course it takes SIG P320 mags. So I guess if you're heavily, you know, loaded up in 320 mags, you know, you could put them in that. But I don't know the cost on it or anything yet. I saw the pictures. I saw Max Michelle holding it. I saw Classic Firearms shooting it. Doesn't do anything for me. But if y'all are, you know, if y'all, that's something y'all are looking for, there you go. It kind of looks like they took a 320 slide and kind of sanded it down and stuck it on the top. The comp kind of looks like an afterthought to me. They said that it's 3D printed. You know, not with 3D, but you know what I mean. I mean, not with plastic, but I kind of see a SIG grip there. It doesn't really look like a standard 2011, but of course it takes 320 mags, so why would it? It just doesn't do anything for me, and I'm not bashing SIG. I mean, I'm not this moment, I'm not. Um, but it's kind of a little too late in my opinion. But if somebody's really on the SIG train and that's what they like, I mean, they should get it. I'm not going to get it. So, but there you go. Yeah, exactly, Scott. That's what I said to somebody. I don't want to be their beta tester again. Yeah, SIG released that. They've got like a couple of guns. They've got a new 365 with the metal, or it's a 365, but it's a 380, and it takes grips or side panels, um, and some other stuff. Yeah, Unit 4 says smack that thumbs up, everyone. You trolls too. Yeah. Yeah, we got 20 on here and 4 thumbs up. So yeah, we can definitely use some more thumbs up. Also, I wanted to ask y'all's opinion. I've told y'all that I am going to be doing, some other stuff on the channel. Um, the I'm going to be doing some whiskey reviews and stuff. I did get 2 new bottles of whiskey for Father's Day. My wife got them for me. Is that something y'all would watch? Would y'all be open to a whiskey review? And I'll do it the old school way. I've got the glasses where you check the notes and all that stuff. I mean, I'm a big, huge whiskey connoisseur, been into it forever. Used to have, hell, 60 plus bottles of whiskey. Got rid of a lot of them. And I'm not going to get back up to that. I'm just going to get some selected ones that I'm interested in and that she picks out for me, here and there. But, with ones that I already have, would y'all be interested in some whiskey reviews and then giving my opinions on them? Is that something y'all would watch? And I know that there's whiskey people, so I'm sure somebody would watch them. But I just wondered if that's something y'all would be interested in, watching those. Hello, Lynn Holt. As well, Staccato had better watch out. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think the 2011s are safe. And again, this takes P320 mags, kind of like the Platypus and the Staccato HD, they take log mags. So, I mean, put it this way. I guess they had to make something to put all of those 320 mags in since nobody's shooting 320s and selling them off. Unit 4 says, let's give it a try. Ranger 10 said, guys, jump on the whiskey chat. The trolls there. Put these trolls to shame. Yeah, God. Ranger, we had I think when it was all said and done, there was like 750 people at the end of the night that watched that chat. And granted, thank you again for you, because, man, you were chasing the trolls off. I had them from all over the United States. They were saying where they were from. It was crazy. I mean, it's good that we kind of talked about some whiskeys and some other stuff, but yeah, the trolls were out like crazy, so I don't know where they all came from. Did you see the Glock store guy start rumors that a Gen 6 is in the works? Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, who knows? Tons of peeps, good chat. Yeah, I did see that. And I'm sure they're going to come out with a Gen 6, and I don't know if y'all saw it. Did y'all see where Lucas Botkin was at the Glock store and he was training inside in one of their little facilities? He said he was at the Glock store on one of his little X post. So there you go. Trigger Bar said, I listened after the chat. I missed it live. Yeah, no, it's not a problem. But yeah, live, there were a ton of trolls. It was crazy. I was just like, good Lord, man. There'd be like 3 or 4 normal people, and we have like 8 trolls in a row. Damn, these glasses are a lot heavier than those other ones that I drink out of. These things are like freaking super heavy. But yeah, I personally won't be buying the SIG P11 or P211. I have no reason to have it. I think, I think the people that get it may like it, but again, I think you're going to be a beta tester right out of the box. So you might want to sit on that one a little bit, let some people try it out and see what they think about it. But man, I bet the price point is just going to be stupid. And if that's the case, I would rather buy another 2011 than buy that personally. But again, people who are heavily invested in SIG mags, P320 mags, I can understand. What's up, Ohio Gear Guy? How are you, man? But yeah, I was thinking about, the whiskey chat. I'll do it in a different room, in kind of a different setup, and have my tasting glasses out and all that stuff, if y'all are interested. Lucas was training with Lenny McGillis. Oh, he was with Lenny? I just saw it where he was shooting his AR. I didn't know he was there, or he was actually with Lenny. I don't have Instagram, so. Yeah, Ranger 10, the P211 is a 9mm, so it's like a 2011 9mm that takes SIG P320 mags. And then they have a new P365 380 with a metal frame. And I guess there's a new 226X or something like that. But also, I am talking about other stuff. And I don't know if y'all saw it a long, long time ago. I posted a picture of a Corvette. I didn't say anything about it. I just kind of posted the picture. It was the thumbnail on one of my chats. And that was an X series Corvette. But again, I couldn't talk about it. But that's the new Vet that they just released. It's the ZR1X. It's 1,250 horsepower. It's electric and gas. 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. So it is literally the American-made hypercar. So I'm not a huge Corvette guy, but this thing's sweet. And that was the first sneak picture of it. I just kind of posted it, just put it on the thumbnail of the chat, didn't say a word about it. And nobody picked up on it. Like, I've never seen that Corvette before. Wow, that wing looks different. Nobody said a word. But that was the ZR1X. That was a prototype that I got to see. But they've officially released them, so I can talk about it now. Oh, I bet it's going to be over 150 grand, Scott. Hey, what's up, Indy Irish? How are you, buddy? Good old Michigan. Hit that thumbs up, yes. Yeah, I bet it is over 150 grand. What's up? Links Defense is in the house. Everybody probably knows Links Defense. Love his bags, love all of his goodies. Matter of fact, there's a sticker for Links Defense. And here's my combo battery vault. Love this thing. And I've got a video on it if y'all want to go check it out and buy one. I think it's actually a great piece of kit. Hope you're doing well, Links. Defeats the purpose of a Corvette. They were supposed to be the affordable muscle cars. Yeah, but they have different tiers. That is the thing about the Corvettes. They've got the basics, the middle, the touring, the Stingray, Z06, ZR1, This is just the big of the big. This is the big bad boy. So, and it's crazy. From what I understand, I haven't driven it. I haven't even ridden in it. I just literally saw it in person. But a lot of the people that have driven it and doing tests on it, they're like, this thing's wicked. So, at 1,250 horsepower, it should, in 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. That should be pretty crazy. Chris says, hi, Links. Love the battery vault I got with Big J's link. Yeah. Oh, cool, Chris. I'm glad you like it. I remember you saying you grabbed one. Were any U.S. manufacturers in Le Mans this year? Corvette wasn't there? I thought Corvette was there. I could be wrong. I didn't really keep up with the Le Mans, to be honest with you, but Corvette usually is there. I think Ford, didn't Ford have a Mustang there? I heard them talking about it, or well, the Ford guys were talking about that they were going to have a car at Le Mans, unless something happened to it, but y'all have to correct me if I'm wrong. Pranic is in the house. Oh, Chris has not finished editing the review yet. Oh, he's got a review on the battery vault. That's awesome. Man, this glass is freaking heavy. Holy crap. I guess that's the difference between lead crystal and that cheap glass stuff. I had no idea it was that heavy. So, I mean, they're super nice glasses, but did not know they were that heavy. But yeah, that car is pretty sick. When I saw it in person, I was just like, holy crap. They wouldn't let us, I couldn't get in it or anything. You know, it was just where I could walk around and look at everything. They wouldn't open the hood, you know, couldn't take picture. Or, well, I could take a picture of the exterior, but I couldn't take a picture of the interior or the under the hood. Maybe the Mustang GTD was there. I didn't get to watch that much. I gotcha. Don't know back forward at Le Mans because WC is hard to watch and follow, like inside of Man and Rally. Yeah, like I said, I didn't watch a lot of Le Mans. Links Defense says, anyone buying any guns lately? Seems like the gun market is kind of soft and stagnant, or is it just me? No, that's what I was talking about. What's up, Hurt? Still want a Challenger Super Stock bad? Yeah. Yeah, they're and Dodge is bringing back the Hemi. They're bringing it back in the trucks first because they're trying to figure out a way to stick it in the new EV body style, and they're having a hard time doing it because of the way it's set up. So they're going to have to gut it and do all kinds of crazy stuff. So they're trying to find a way. They're going to have the 6-cylinder, the hopped up 6-cylinder in one, but they're trying to find a way to get the Hemi in it. So we'll see in the Charger. And they're going to have the Charger available in 2-door and 4-door now. So that's cool because the Chargers have only been available in the 4-door. So they are going to have a 2-door version. Yeah, it's a real Hemi. They're coming back with their real Hemi. Yeah, well, I meant, the one that they had before. So, like the red eye and stuff like that. NDR says, Links Defense brought the Springfield Kuna Fun PCC, had to find the ideal spot of the metal brace. There you go. Where can I buy a gun in France? I have no idea. I'm sure you probably can't. We're in the US, so not sure. I thought they weren't going to make Chargers anymore. Yeah, they are. Just not the electric Charger. No, they have not. Yeah, Honda was going to buy Nissan. They haven't finalized the deal, and I think it fell through. And out of all manufacturers, Nissan is the worst right now. Rich B says, if you are buying a new truck, which will be primary transportation, Chevy or Dodge? Woo. I mean, they're both great trucks. It depends on what you want out of them. Chevy's a really nice truck. Of course, GMCs are nice. I drive a GMC as a company truck, and I really do like it, and I have a Dodge as a personal truck. I like things about both of them. I've got the Hemi in my Dodge, and then I've got the 5.3 in the GMC. Both great vehicles. Depends on the interior, the infotainment, things like that. Chevy and Dodge are pretty squared away with that. Ford's still lacking a little behind, in my opinion. It depends on, you're going to get a better deal. Just being honest with you, you're going to get a better deal with the Dodge right now. They are less expensive, and you really kind of get more bang for the buck because and Dodge has their packages as well, but with Chevy, they really kind of declutter, or not declutter, they kind of knock down a lot of their packages where you have to get a premium package to get just basic stuff. But it just really depends on, I would recommend you test driving both of them, see what you think. Dodge offers a lot of 6 cylinders, and their new 6 cylinder their hopped up 6 cylinder is pretty nice. It's got a lot of performance for what it is, but I just suggest you drive both of them and see what you think. Yeah, the multi-displacement. As long as Chevy or Dodge has the cylinder deactivation, I'm not interested. Yeah, multi-displacement. Rich B says, I can't ever seem to get a Chevy GMC transmission to make it past 100,000 miles. Well, depending on the gearing of your rear axle and the type of transmission you get, like 8-speed, 10-speed, things like that. I mean, that can happen. Scott says Honda wants to be top dog in that deal with Nissan, and Nissan doesn't seem to understand their cars suck. They want to partner with them for that building capacity. Yeah. Well, Honda would be top dog because they are top dog. Bring back the turbo diesel small trucks. Yeah, Nissan got jacked over by Renault. Are the new Tundras still blowing up? No, they have fixed that. Or the new updated ones are not grenading. However, I will say this, and y'all can check, and I'm not trying to bash a company, but Chevy or GM had a big recall on a bunch of their engines because they were blowing. So, but you can check that yourself. And I mean, I love Chevrolet, don't get me wrong, but they had some issues with engines grenading. But going forward, they're not. Just if you've had one in the past, you might check it for the recall to see if yours is part of that recall. Prentick says, I'm a Honda guy. Man, they make great vehicles. The engines are really hard to beat. And what's crazy is you can take that little four-banger, or you could take some of the old four-bangers, and hell, you can pull 600 plus horsepower out of those things. It's pretty crazy, and they're a very light car. But yeah, for basic driving, I mean, look at the Honda Civic, look at the Honda Accord, the Toyota Camry, the Toyota Corolla. I mean, those things freaking last forever. I mean, of course, trucks, you're not doing truck things in those cars, but, yeah, for getting you 2 and 4 places, there you go. Yeah, K20 makes over 1,000 horsepower if built. Yeah, it's crazy that those little cars, can do that. I had a friend of mine who had one that was like 640 in a little, what was it? It was a little Honda hatchback, a Civic hatchback or something. That thing was insane. Indy Irish says, non-trucks, I love my 2019 Cadillac Escalade. My wife has a 2020 Acura MDX, which she loves. Yeah, Cadillac Escalades are nice. I will tell you, a sleeper car that impressed the hell out of me, and it still impresses me, is the Cadillac CTS Blackwing. That car is insanely fast. I mean, it is probably one of the most slept on cars, and right now you can get a hell of a discount on them if you're looking for, and this is a 4-door car. But that Blackwing is super freaking impressive, and you can get it in a manual or an automatic. That thing is insanely fast. Ranger says, I saw that Big J on the Chevy recall. My new Trail Boss wasn't on the list, thank God. Yeah. Hurt says, what sports cars have you owned, Big J? I have owned oh man, I've had a bunch of sports cars. Now, we'll go classics. I've had a 69 Camaro RS. I've had a 1969 Cutlass 442. I've had a 70 Hemi Cuda. But it was turned into a race car because it didn't have the body. I just rolled and tubbed it, and it had a engine that I had built by Keith Black. It was a drag car. I have had a 1970 Chevelle 454 SS. What else have I had? I had a 70 RT Charger 440. That was really kind of my dad's and mine. I was part owner in it. It was a high end car. It was all original. Plum crazy purple. As far as performance cars, I've had a G35 Coupe, or Infinity, that was tricked out. I've had a Mitsubishi Eclipse. I've had a Mitsubishi, oh, what the hell was it? It wasn't the Starion, it was the other Mitsubishi. Oh, crap. I've had a Talon. I had a, believe it or not, a Dodge Shadow Turbo that I tricked out. I had a Dodge Turbo Z that I had tricked out. Oh, what else? I've got pictures of all these somewhere. 57 Chevy, but it was all original, 283. I had a 70 square body Chevy pickup that had a 383 stroker in it. It was just a burnout monster. I mean, it was fast, but when you didn't put any weight in the back, it would just sit there and smoke the tires down. Trying to think if I had anything else. I'm sure I had something else. I've had a bunch of cars. I've had Mercedes. I've never owned a Porsche, but I think I want a Porsche if I can fit in it. I mean, right now I've got a Charger, or it's my wife's, but it's all tricked out. It's not a stock Charger. It'll definitely beat a Scat Pack. It'll probably hang with the Demon. Pretty close, but the Demon would probably take it in the long run. But it started as a stock RT Charger, but it's not stock anymore. I've shown it on the channel before. I did an exhaust test and nobody watched it. So, but anyway, it was a exhaust that I designed with an H pipe and had my exhaust guy build it for me. The exhaust. Yeah, those caddies are crazy fast. Accords with a V6 are nice. 69 Cutlass 442 was the yellow color with the black stripe down the middle. No, mine was candy apple red with black stripes. Mine was not the Hurst Olds edition. That's the one I wanted, but it's actually a gold with black on the Hurst Olds edition. 70 Super B, those are awesome. Any bikes or side-by-sides? I had a FJ 1200 back in the day. I had a Yamaha, what was it, a Yamaha 1100. I had CR 250, CR 500 dirt bikes. I had a Harley Fat Boy. What was that, a 91 Harley Fat Boy? I never rode it. I had a quad racer, a Suzuki quad racer when I was young. That thing was fast. But I got out of motorcycles a long time ago. I was too crazy on them, and my wife said that she was gonna kick my ass if I kept riding like that, so I got rid of them. Hello, Norwood, how are you? Oh, CR 500 was a death machine. That thing was insane. It was so freaking fast. The CR 250, I was always a big kid, like really tall. And the 250, I mean, I was already beating my friend's ass, but then we had a guy that got a Husqvarna, a guy I rode with, he ended up getting a Husqvarna 4, what was it, a 4 something? This was way back in the day, I don't remember the number. His was a 4-stroker. And then he started like keeping up with the CR 250, so I bought a CR 500, and that thing was just a wheelie machine. It was so freaking fast. Matter of fact, what I did so I could still ride enjoyably is ended up putting a bigger sprocket on it because it was so freaking fast. I had to slow it down. Oh, I had a Chevy Square Body. It was the stupidest truck, but I bought it right when it came out. It was the Chevy truck, the short box, and it had the 454 SS, if anybody remembers that. It was a Chevy with a 454 block putting out 220 horsepower stock. I was like, back then though, that was, oh man, it's so cool. That thing, it was slow as shit. So I ended up pulling that motor and putting a different motor in it. CR 500s bring a premium these days, along with KX 500s and trikes. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I rode bikes, motorcycles. I think I got my first bike when I was like 7. It was a little, it was a Suzuki. What was it? Was it a? It wasn't a CR. It was a. What was Suzuki? It was a little 50. I think I was 7, 6 or 7. I had a little. Was it a DR? What the hell was Suzuki's numbers? I can't remember. Y'all probably remember. But anyway, it was a little 50, and then I went from the 50 to the 125, and I outgrew the 125 really quick, and then went over to the 250 CR, and then got the 500. And like I said, that 500 was a freaking rocket. It was so fast. Trigger Bar says, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Yeah, y'all smacked that. We got 24 on and 13 thumbs up. Man, this whiskey's going too fast. But yeah, I had a good Father's Day. How about y'all? Did y'all have a good Father's Day? I hope everyone did. I got to see the grandbaby and my daughter and my son-in-law. They all came over. I have also started he doesn't know it, but I've also started a little side collection of ones that I've been going through and kind of stacking up for him. So I've got 3 rifles right here, and there's 2 over beside that candle back there, 2 rifles back there, and I've got a couple of pistols that he is going to be getting. And these are ones that are not going to be sold. I'm passing them. They were passed down to me. Oh, I have one more somewhere in one of the safes that I'm going to be giving him. But they were passed down to me, and I am passing them down to him. Probably Christmas. He's going to be getting a hell of a Christmas for my grandkids. I just want him to enjoy them now too. And I'll take him out and let him know how to use all of them. Pranic says, my welding teacher had a Husqvarna rifle. Wow, never seen a Husqvarna rifle. 6.5 Swedish and Mauser action. Offered $1,000 for it, and he turned me down. I don't blame him. Damn, that's awesome. Ranger said I had a Honda 50 when I was 8. Got into so much trouble with that, yeah. Yeti Whisperer is saying, what is the go-to gun shop in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? I would definitely say Texas Gun Experience in Grapevine, Texas. It's an awesome place. I would say Ray's in downtown Dallas. It's been around for 1,000 years, and it's a really cool historical place to go. That's where Coleon Noir goes. I've been in there many times. It's a cool place. K5 Armory and Trophy Club is a really cool place. Those are probably my top 3. All the rest of them are just kind of like normal ones. Any plans on the Staccato HD? No, Hurt. No plans on it for me at all. No, it just doesn't do anything for me. I've got Glocks for that, and I've got 2011s. So, you know, just being able to take a Glock mag, you know, it's not a reason for me to buy one. I think it's cool if somebody wants that, but I don't. It just doesn't do much for me. Indy Irish says 1980 FC 250. Oh, cool. Yeah, Ray's is just so expensive. Yeah, Ray's used to be like very reasonable, but they got the popularity, and Coleon was pushing them for a long time, and they did bump up their prices. But Ray is actually less expensive still than a lot of them that are local. If you want hands on a gun, like very unique guns, I would definitely say Texas Gun Experience. Their prices are a little higher, but they usually have it in stock. Even the hard to find things, they've got very unique things. They've got a whole line of staccatos. They've got Nighthawks. They've got Terran Tactical. I mean, they've got so many. They got aliens. They even had a platypus. They still have it as of Friday, I think. They have a platypus in stock. If anybody's looking for one, it's 1,700. It's all black. It's 1,700 doll hairs. I've got to say that. It's like 16 and some change. It's the Commander. Don't know. I think it is RMR cut, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's got a plate on it. What's up, Bald? How are you, man? SIG is coming up with 2011s that take 320 mags. Yeah, we talked about earlier, Bald. Yeah, SIG doesn't do shit for me, you know that. But like I said, if somebody wants it, that's cool. Bauer Precision in Denton. They do have some cool stuff. They're in the old Kelly Moore building. Matter of fact, I went there last week. That's what I was telling Pranic. I went in there to see their new shop. They have a lot of stuff, but it's just kind of strewn out there right now. I think they're still in the process of setting everything up, but they carry a lot of stuff too. And their prices are pretty good. Bald says, Ranger, I'll be getting one for sure. Hell, we know you are. We know you blow SIG. Yeah, and I would say for accessories, Texas Gun Experience has a lot of accessories. Bauer has a lot of accessories. Ray has some accessories. But yeah, it's, I would definitely just look around. How many family gatherings have you had with your in-laws, etc.? Get with them all the time. Family first. Oh, man. Okay, there you go, Ranger. You can take that one out. Bald says, SIG has been good to me. Zero problems with a lot of mine other than running out of ammo. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, if you've had good luck with them and that's what you like, I mean, I'm not hating on them. You know, I've had issues. I mean, I'm not hating on them for other people. I've had issues with them in the past. It's been very well documented and they do not like me. But that's a me issue, not a everybody's issue. So, you know, I always tell everybody, get what you want, shoot what you want. Bald says, heading to Tennessee tomorrow morning. Are you moving there, or are you just going there, heading there to see your family, or what are you doing? Got 31 on here with only 14 thumbs up. Y'all smash that thumbs up. SIG resale is dead. Yes, it's very, very dead. So I'm saying, if you're trying to get rid of any SIGs, good luck. Man, I think somebody told me I think it was, I don't know, it was a little while ago, but there were like 250 P320s for sale on Gunbroker. Yeah, Trigger Bar saying no value in SIG guns. Yeah, they're not. Matter of fact, I heard, I think it was, oh yeah, it was a buddy of mine. Y'all know him. I won't say his name in case he doesn't want me to know, but he was on a Shark Coast Tacticals channel. I guess they were having a live stream. I've never heard, I've seen, I think, a couple of their videos. I didn't know they did a live stream. But anyway, SIG had reached out to Shark Coast Tactical and said, hey, we have 500 320s that y'all could buy and custom out and do all that other stuff. And they said, we don't want any 320s. So I guess SIG's making calls around all these gun shops, seeing if they'll take them. Bald says, go shoot competition. Every third gun is SIG X5. Yeah, but I bet you, Bald, I'm not joking around about this, but I bet a lot of that's going to change, or is changing. It might have, I know it was that way, but I bet a lot of it's changing. I bet the Yeet cannon is outselling the 320. That's funny. Rich B says, have you ever dealt with Gunbroker? A good experience? No, I don't mess with them. I'll go on there and look. at stuff, but I haven't set up an account. I haven't bought from them. I've heard they've raised all their pricing for like shipping and fees and all that, and people are saying it's getting crazy. So, but no, I just look on there and I find it elsewhere. I don't really mess with those guys. I've got too many good places near me. There's no better value gun for carry optics, the X5 Legion. Don't care what haters say. Yeah, I mean, if you want a striker fire, I mean, I think the Shadow 2, and of course, I know that you can do stuff to it, and it's double action, single action. But yeah, I prefer the Shadow 2 full size over the X5 Legion personally. With the X5, and I'm not the only one that's ever said this, but I said it, and then people were like, holy shit, you're right. I owned an X5, not the Legion, but the original X5. And I would shoot it. And I mean, y'all have seen me shoot. I have a good grip. I have all that stuff. I can shoot a pistol flat. But I had a wave. I called it a wave. You'd pull the trigger and it was just a weird oscillation. And then I shot an X5 Legion that was not mine. And I'm sure it has to do with bore axis, recoil spring, all that other stuff. But I had the same thing with that X5 Legion. And I can shoot, you know, hell, even my Glock 17L, I could shoot that thing flat as shit. But with those SIGs, I was getting that, I just call it like a rocking, and it was just a weird feeling, and I just didn't like that. Even though the gun worked, or mine did not. I've got a video on it, the X5, it took a shit. But, you know, that weird feeling, I just never liked that feeling. And then I had people say, oh, you can put a flashlight on it and take that out of it, and it would help dampen it, but I still had that weird feeling. I just didn't like it, because I didn't feel that in any other gun except the X5. Unit 4 says, back in the day, I bought several things from Gunbroker and never got burned. Maybe I was just lucky. Anybody in Johnson City area near Pigeon Forge? I'll be there for the next few days. I'm not near that. I'm familiar with it, though. Hurt says, I wish I was in Pigeon Forge down in Austin, Texas. Right now, heading to Dallas. Oh, you're down in Austin. Cool. I like Austin. I mean, some of the people are weird. We all know that. But I mean, they have good barbecue. You know, it's a cool town. You know, I like Austin. But what's funny, tomorrow I will be working with two different people. One is, they're both American manufacturers. Y'all know who both of them are. I won't say their names in case they're watching. But I'm going to be with a rep from each one of the manufacturers at the same time. Competitors. So that should be fun tomorrow. That should be a lot of fun. Listen to one of them squawk about the other one and the other one squawk about the other one. I might have to be the referee. Well, we drank that pretty quick. I should have got more. Figured 3 shots would be enough. Now we'll just go to some water. Hopefully I'll be in Tennessee permanently in the next few months. Cool. Just need to sell this damn house I built. Anybody want to buy a house in New York? Only $900K. I don't want to buy anything in New York, but maybe somebody will. Let's see here. But as far as the gun market, you know, it's just, right now, it's just very stagnant. I'm seeing tons of sales on stuff, which is to be expected. You know, it's definitely a buyer's market, not a seller's market. That's why I've decided I'm not going to sell any of these guns. I'm just going to give them all to him. But you know, there's just nothing that's exciting. I mean, you know, I know that the P11 or what is it? SIG P211 was released today. That doesn't excite me. You know, matter of fact, I'm going to be and I think I talked about it last week. I'm going to be getting something done up very soon. Haven't sent it in yet, but I will be. So that'll be something new. And it's a gun I already own that I wanted to get customized. So I'll be sending that in soon. Pranic says, I've always heard and agree with Austin in Boulder, Colorado, or Boulder County of Texas. I lived in Boulder. Yeah, it is. It's very liberal. Very liberal. And it used to be totally the opposite. When I was a kid, man, it bled red in Austin. But not now. Not now. And everything there is crazy, crazy expensive. We had, well, actually, it was my what would I call him? My uncle-in-law, I guess. He had a house in Austin with a lot of property, and that was his second home, and had it for a long, long time. Bought it right when the prices were good, and then sold it and made a fortune because it was up in the hills, and it was like a hill, like 3 hills away from the observatory there in Austin, and it backed up to a wildlife preserve. And man, it was a really cool house, but he made a freaking fortune off that house when he sold it. Yeah, bunker busters. Yeah. I would just assume stay out of that mess that's going on over there, to be honest with you. Yeah, man, that's exactly what I was going to say, Bald. I hope we do not need to get mixed up in that shit. And even the rhinos, a lot of the rhinos are pushing for it. But man, I'm just hoping we don't get into that mess. We do not need that crap. We need to worry about our own shit and not worry about everybody else's shit. We got to fix our playground. But, it just, the more you look at it, it's like, man, they just keep trying to drag us into it. Yeah, China's licking its lips. Yep. Yep, they are. And then you got the China and Taiwan stuff. It's like, man, and people don't realize, but if China does go after Taiwan, people don't realize the semiconductors, I mean, everything takes a freaking chip. And a lot of that stuff is made in Taiwan. I mean, for your washing machines, your refrigerator, phones, TVs, cars, trucks, machinery. I mean, man, if that gets hit and we can't get those, that's going to be bad. That is going to be bad. People aren't looking at the what ifs when it comes to a lot of that kind of stuff. $2027 coming quick. That's when China says they would hit Taiwan, if not before, Ranger. I that might have been what they're throwing out there, what they're saying, but you never know, man. But I'm telling you, that does not need to happen. That is going to be a bad old deal if that does. That's going to put us all in a tailspin. The carry for this week has been the Shadow Systems CR920 XP. Last week it was the Shadow 2. And it, everything's been fine with it. No issues. I agree, Unit 4. No reason we can't make that stuff here. I totally agree. All right, take care, Bald. Have a good night, buddy. Yeah. China is a problem. They are. I mean, like this Iran thing. I mean, if we wanted to finish that off, I don't think it would take long. But China's a whole different ballgame. But, as far as the gun market, man, it's just very stagnant right now. There's nothing new. But of course, if stuff's not selling, I mean, SIG had their stuff. But if it's not selling or whatever, I mean, people aren't going to dump a lot of money into, manufacturing, making something new and designing and things like that. And I'm sure there's stuff coming, but to me, it's just kind of boring. I mean, if I had to buy something right now for me personally, and I've said this before, I would buy another Shadow 2 Compact. I mean, I don't have to, but if I mean, I've got money, sitting there, cashola, and it's like, yeah, I would buy another Shadow 2 Compact. But what I think that people probably, rather than just looking to buying another gun, hello G23, how are you, buddy? I think rather than people just running out and buying another gun, what I would recommend, and I don't tell people what to do, this is just a recommendation. I would recommend just loading up on some ammo, loading up on some accessories, maybe lights, you know, uh, dots, things that you might need for a rifle, for a pistol, for other things, maybe a bag. Mags is never a bad thing at all. And training, if you're not trained or you're not proficient, and I'm not saying I'm the training guru because I'm not, I can always learn something. But, maybe if you're a newbie, seek out some training, because that's items you can always use. If you've got good guns now, nobody says you have to have another good gun or another gun. I know a lot of people, just buy guns to buy guns. And some of them, there's no resale value in those guns. And that's what I see is people just plopping out these 400, like I've got $400 and I got to buy something. It's like, well, you buy that $400 gun and then it's worth $150 if you want to get rid of it. I would save up your money and buy something that you really want that would hold some resale value and could potentially be a collector or something you could hand down. I look at it as an investment, not just another piece of plastic or a wonder gun. That's just my opinion. Ranger 10 says just buying ammo lately. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can always use ammo, and it's never a bad idea to stock up on ammo. If you can get it for good pricing, why not? I mean, just being honest with you, I'm still sitting on ammo prior, I mean, I had that much of it and I still have a lot of it. So I haven't bought ammo in a long time. Well, take that back. I bought some, I don't know, about 8 months ago. I bought another 2,000 rounds, 3,000 rounds of 9mm because it was a good deal. But, and I mean, there I was shooting a ton and still had tons of ammo. So, I don't think you can go wrong with ammo. And mags, depending on how much you shoot. You're the Jay Leno of firearms, Big J. Yeah, investments. Everything is an investment to me. I'm just being honest with you. I don't buy, I look at it as, even with cars and with stocks and with, anything I want, if I buy it, I'm either wanting to hand it down or I'm looking at a flip or a potential to make money. So that's why I try to buy them right and then sell them right and sell them at certain times. Like I sold off some guns during the when people couldn't get them. I made a killing. I made way over what I paid for them. So, because I bought them right. So that's what I'm saying. If, I look at everything as an investment, I don't want to buy it as a paperweight or to lose money, and then, everybody says, well, you customize guns. You put a lot of money into guns, that are just basic guns or whatever. Those are guns that I'm going to keep. And I know I'm never going to want to sell them, never going to want to get rid of them, and that I truly love those guns. So then, yes, I will customize them. I will invest some more money in them to make them my own or the way I like them. Not every gun out of the box I actually like. So some don't fit me correctly. Some, I don't like this is the way it's done. So then I'll customize it or have it done to make it the way I want it. And I look at that as an investment in the product for myself, to where I'll like it even more. And sometimes this is another thing. You can take an old gun that you like, but you're like, it doesn't do anything for me. You can send it out and have it done. When you get it back, sometimes it's like a whole different gun. So, and I mean, you can, if anybody's interested in taking one of their old guns and, you know, turning it around, you can reach out to Impact Machine. That's my boys. And you can use my code. It's BJGG10, all capitalized with a 10. And any milling, if you want to get it milled for an optic, if you want to get it completely rebuilt, completely customized, whatever, that 10% counts for everything and their optic plates. I don't make anything on it. He just, I ask for that for y'all, a discount code. So, reach out to Impact Machine and, put my code in there or whatever, and that'll save you 10%, so every little bit helps. But, I just really like customizing some of my guns to make them kind of my own in the way that I like them. I like them to look different and have some difference of what everybody else has. And a lot of things that I've done to my guns, people have copied. With Fire for Effect, that was a really popular one. It was the Big Johnson edition. People would just put in the thing, I want the Big Johnson edition. So I just think, it's kind of like a car or a truck. I would get a regular car, a regular truck, and I would customize it to the way I wanted it. Lift, wheels, tires, brush guards, things like that, because I wanted it to make it look like mine or something that I would enjoy. And I do the same thing with guns. Used to do, custom boots. I mean, all my boots were made specifically for me. And I always picked patterns and things that were very unique and other people might not like, but I always liked them. So, I've just kind of that's always been my thing since I was young. So, let me catch back up here. Oh, thanks, Ranger. Appreciate you, buddy. Rabbi says, breathing new life into old firearms sounds wise. Yeah, I mean, that's what you want to do. How I feel about my MK18 keeper for life. Yeah. A good gun is an investment in your life. Yep. I mean, the new whiz bang lipstick on a pig, I mean, what's it going to do for you? Really nothing. I mean, I'll never forget, what was it? It was, what gun did he get? It was a big duty gun. It was the SIG. It was that SIG, God dang it. It was the 320. It wasn't the X5, but it was the SIG 320 with the comp. A guy at the gun range, he got it and he was shooting it and he was enjoying it. I was like, oh, cool. Well, I was over there minding my own business, shooting my gun. And this was a while back, before I injured my leg. And he walked down. He's like, oh, what are you shooting? And I had some guns laid out there. And he's like, oh, man. He goes, what is that gun? And, I unloaded it and everything and handed it to him. He kept it downrange. And he's like, I've never even shot one of these or seen one of these. Anyway, what the gun was the CZ P10F. So, and he's like, man, I've seen these on YouTube, but I've never shot one. And I was like, well, you can shoot it. And I said, here's a mag. And so I said, just shoot it in my bay. I said, there's a clean target out there. I hadn't started shooting yet. And I get the targets for free. They're in the VIP. And anyway, so, pulled it in. I don't know if it was 7 or 10 yards. I can't remember. But anyway, he had never shot that gun. It had a dot on it and everything. And I had the MPS on it. And he threw it out there and was like, bang, 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 bang. And he was like, holy crap, this thing shoots awesome. He's like, what kind of tricked out triggers in this? What kind of this? What kind of that? And I was like, that's a stock trigger. And he's like, what? And he's like, how much is this gun? And I was like, shit, you can get them for like $450 now, $500. And he's like, what? And then you had it milled? And I was like, no, this one was already optic ready. Had to get the plate though. Plate was like $50 or $40 or whatever. And he was like, holy crap. He goes, man, I just spent $800 or $900 on that gun down there. And he goes, your gun, this P10F outshoots that gun. And I was like, oh, okay. And he asked if I wanted to shoot the 320. And I was like, no, that's cool. I've shot one before. But, and I'm not saying you got to buy a CZ P10F. I'm just kind of, when you're chasing that dragon, you might already have something that's better than that dragon. So, save that gun. Spectre comp. Yeah, that's what it was. It was the Spectre comp. Rabbi says he wasn't even pulling the trigger, just practicing his drop shots. Yeah, when SIG and Glock owners see the value of CZ. Yeah, I mean, man, they're so damn underrated. Prentick says every now and then a great new gun comes out. We are not in the time right now. Yeah, I agree. Don't tune up a shitty gun. I agree with that. But, and also, I don't know if anybody does this. I hate to read. I do read, but I'm not really a reader, but I like to listen to stuff. And I don't know if anybody's into like, books or whatever, but if you are, I would, and I'm not the guy that pushes stuff, but I will recommend this book if anybody's interested in it. And it's available. They even have it on YouTube that somebody's already done a, whatever you call it. So you can just look up this book, and it's got the audio book where you can just listen to it. I think it's 3 hours. It's not a big book, but it's The Power of Discipline. And I don't know if anybody's read it. There's your, author. If anybody's interested, you can just screenshot this. And it is available on YouTube. I found it on there because I sent it to a couple of people that I would recommend that they listen to it. And it just talks about like, discipline and, how to kind of trigger your mind. And I think it's a great book. And I read a lot of, not that I need motivation because I'm pretty motivated, but I like to read and listen to some books and some people's opinions and things about this, for like sales tactics and things like that. I always like to get a different perspective. I don't know everything. I never claim to, and I like to get different perspectives. So I really enjoyed, that book and highly recommend it. If anybody, wants to, like I said, you can just kick it on while you're doing a really long drive and on YouTube and listen to it. So let's see here. Thanks, Clyde. I appreciate it. Oh man, Clyde, I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, we will definitely pray for your wife. Trigger Bar says, been listening now, Big J. Oh, I guess I did. I think I sent that to Trigger Bar. Rabbi said I worked up a G34 for 3 gun, went back to my stock G17. Thanks, Rabbi. Take care, buddy. Oh boy, what's up with Halo here? I can't read all that scribbling. But anyway, it is 8:03. And like I said, I'm not one to push books and stuff like that. It's just, if you're interested, check it out. Power of Discipline. I found it very, very appealing. So when I recommended it to some people, a couple people have already listened to it and read it, and they're like, wow, that was really awesome. So, and they're kind of people that are in the sales world, but that's not just sales. That's just discipline, everyday discipline. Kind of retrain your brain, so to say. Because, man, there's a lot of negativity out there, and, this does help you can be a more positive person. I'm already positive anyway. I hate negativity. It's poison. But anyway, it is 8:04. We will go ahead and shut this down. If you have any questions, comments, anything like that after the chat, please leave them, and I will get back with y'all. I will answer your questions. But if y'all find anything that you're like, hey, Big J, I think you'd like this gun or whatever, I just found it, holler at me or leave a comment. And if you got other ideas, like other ideas that I need to talk about other than guns, because like I said, I'm branching out a little bit. We're going to do some other things. I will do some whiskey reviews coming up. If you want to watch it, watch it. If not, that's cool too. I totally understand. But I'd love to have you if you want to check them out. And I'm not pushing for people to drink, just giving my opinion. Just kind of reviewing whiskey and reviewing some other things. And I'm probably going to do some knives and stuff like that, things I look at in knives that I enjoy. Maybe some other people won't, but it's always good to have different perspectives. Unit 4 says, thanks for the chat tonight, Big J. Good night, brothers. Pranic saying, thanks, Big J. Best wishes, Clyde. Yep, everyone take care. And if you have someone out there you haven't reached out to in a while, please reach out to them. Let them know you're thinking about them. And as we always say, an unarmed nation is a weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all have a great night. Take care.